Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Muslims. I forgot how to say that, brothers and sisters in Arabic. I write everything down. Since I've been on Paltalk, I have like 10 notebooks that I've taken notes with. And the problem is it's not categorized, so my Arabic should Ikhwani wa akhawati. Yes. And so I should like put all the Arabic in one notebook and all the hadith in another, but I'm not that good. Anyway, so this is Juma. Juma is the best day. I love Juma. Yes, I became a Muslim. I embraced Islam 30 years ago. And I guess I don't think of it. I do think of it as a big deal. It is a big deal, and everybody's personal story is a big deal, but I just want to say something too is, for people who are raised as Muslims, I find also that to be profound, because at some point in time, the child who is raised up as a Muslim, they have to take their own individual heartfelt shahada, where they have to say, I'm doing this not because I was raised to do this, I'm doing this because I believe in it. So I think that we all are on the same footing. And yikes, yeah, I am, said Sam, I am. And you know what? In all actuality, time goes by very, very, very quickly. Inshallah. At least 93. I don't know why I took that, but I do say 93 because I'd like to be able to see my children's children and then help their children's children, and maybe even, a new baby out of the third generation and seeing them Muslim, inshallah. That's like my biggest, just seeing the successors and the inheritors of my family, to embrace the deen. So, the 30 years gave it away. Yeah, absolutely. But the time does go by quickly, and as I look past, I see that a lot of my time was wasted. A lot of time wasted on, feeling lonely and nobody likes me and blah, 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 blah. And then, oh my gosh, I'm 50. Wow, so just take heed. There's 3 things that we should value while we have it: our youth, our wealth, and our health, because one day they all will be taken away from us. And so, why I became a Muslim? Well, first of all, it's definitely Allah's mercy. I was in the United States military, and I was a weird child. I'm a weird love beauty. I'm a weird LB. I hear this a lot, you're kind of weird, you're strange and stuff. And it's true because I think the way I think. And I don't think that I have to think and do the way everybody else does just because I'm a Muslim, and I don't have to think the way every Muslim thinks. The basic components are La ilaha illallah, Muhammaddan Rasulullah. We pray 5 times a day, we do this, we do this, we do this. That's the same. But how we go about doing certain things, I don't think I have to do the same. And my parents, I'll start with this child. I was orphaned and then given to another lady, and she was very, very strict, very good woman. She actually taught me a lot about Islam. She was not a Muslim. But we were never allowed to wear like short dresses. In order to wear skirts, you had to have pants underneath. You couldn't wear anything that showed like your breast, or you didn't wear short sleeves and stuff like that. So I never heard my mom, as I call her, obviously, I never heard her take shahada, but I do pray to Allah that, He knows best. Anyway, when I graduated from high school, I kind of knew that I was not really kind of welcome, because my parents were divorced, everybody got remarried and wanted to start their own life. So I was kind of like, well, what am I going to do in my life? And I thought joining the military was the answer. So I joined the military. And I wasn't very good at that either because of the authority issue. And I do not like the chain of command, especially if you have a problem with somebody, your immediate supervisor, in order to report it, you have to report it to him. And what good is that going to do? So anyway, when I got stationed in, let me see, where do I begin on this? There was actually a Good Friday where I was just like so impressed with some feeling, and I kept having visions of a big thick book, a green book, a big thick green book. I got stationed in Japan, and when the airplane touched the ground, I was so overcome with sadness and sorrow because I knew I was so alone. I mean, I didn't know anybody, and just very, very scared. So I said for the first time in my life, "Oh God, give me a friend." And years later, I find that Allah gave me the best friend, and Allah is the best friend that one can have. Anyway, I had a problem with authority. I had a roommate that she was African American, and at that time, 30 years ago, it was black Muslims. They were black Muslims, and she had accused me of stealing something, and I did not steal something. Some kind of went this. Okay, hold on, I'll give you that. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you about the thick green book. Anyway, so we had gotten to a fisticuff, because she accused me of stealing, which I did not steal. And one day, she was my roommate, and one day she was walking down the barracks hall, and it was a co-ed barracks, and there were these three guys, African American, and she walked up to one of them and was like, "Assalamu alaikum," and he's, "Wa alaikum assalam." I didn't understand what they were saying, but I knew that they were saying something different to each other. So when I passed them, I said, "Hello," and he said, he called her sister. "Assalamu alaikum, sister." So when I walked by, I said, "Hello," and he said, "Hello." I just got up in his face and I said, "Okay, I know that you're different, but I want to know why you called her sister, and I'm knowing her character, and why you don't call me sister. Is it a color thing?" So he didn't really have too much to say that day, but the next day when I was walking down the hall and he saw me, he was like, "Assalamu alaikum, sister, Aisha." So not only did he embrace me as a sister, not only did he give me the best of all greetings, but he also gave me a new name. And I said, "Okay, what is it that you believe in? Obviously this is a religious matter." And he said, "We believe in la ilaha illallah, and that means that there's only one God. There's nothing other that you give worship to, nothing worthy of worship." And I asked him, I said, like the military, I don't have to pray to a man. I don't have to get, things clear through Jesus, peace be with him, and I don't have to pray to him. I don't have to ask forgiveness from him. And I was told no. I said, "Okay, that's pretty remarkable. I like that. I really like that." And then he said, "And muhamaddan Rasulullah means that Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet of Allah, the last messenger of Allah. There will be no more prophets." He validates what all the prophets were sent with, that there's, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. I said, "Okay, sign me up. Where's the membership? Give me my membership card," and stuff like that. And so in a matter of 2 days, I, did embrace Islam. I never took an open shahada, but and that was like the first day of Ramadan, and they didn't tell me that, like certain times of the month a woman does not fast during Ramadan, so I was a beast, I really was. And somebody, because when you're adopted, when you're orphaned, or this was in my case, you don't have to stick to one family. You have the family of humanity. You can be, anybody you want can be your family. So this was very embracing, but 30 years ago, time is prejudice, the government is prejudice, the military is prejudice, and there were times when I would go to my barracks room, may Allah forgive me, I don't need to offend anybody by saying this, but in like black spray paint, it would be nigger lovers, written on my door and everything. So Islam was, very embracing. I loved that I could talk to whoever I want. Oh my gosh, people from this country can marry this people from that country is just, remarkable. So in a matter of 2 days, I embraced Islam, and I never, ever, ever, since that day, have ever denied or thought, being suspicious, doubt about it, or maybe I did the wrong thing. My thinking is more that, in me doing the wrong way, in me thinking the wrong way, and that's where I think we put, as humans, we put our own burdens and our own struggles. The book that, the thick green book that I'm talking about, then the brother turned around and gave me a Quran, and it was a thick, because it has the translation and the Arabic, and it was, the cover of it was green, so I'm sure that that's what, I kept, seeing in my mind's eye and everything. I had to, because I was in the military, and this is 30 years ago, in the Iran hostage situation. We trained with Iraqi people, so it's kind of funny when I see that we're, in an invasion in that country, because an Iraqi gave me my first car when he was going back to Iraq. And whenever, what I would do is, being the kind of person that I am, whenever I would go to a new military base or whenever I go to another city, I would just look in the telephone book under the name Muhammad, and I would call that name and, explain that I'm new in this city and I want to know, is there a different, where's the masjid and stuff like that. So that's what I always did. I had to get a psychological evaluation from the military. And just recently, like within the last 2 years, I was able to request my records, review my records, and the psychological evaluations, said that while she may have some type of emotional, thought process problems, we believe that she is, true in her faith, that it's not just a cult, and it's not just a way to get out of the military. My parents, as soon as I embrace Islam, I start writing letters to them, telling them that you will not do this and this and this, and you won't say that because I'm a Muslim. And I just, I put them through some worries because I kind of attacked them because they were not Muslim. So I noticed that a lot of times when people do embrace Islam, and alhamdulillah, they go at it 100%, and sometimes that's the only way to do that. I did change my name legally in the military, and when you're in the military, you have to put in a request, and it goes to actually the CEO of the military, so it went to Washington, D.C. They had to do a background check on me, and, you're still carrying the old name. You have a request for the new name. It took about 3 months to get it legally changed, and what was so funny is I was sitting at the dentist's office, and I'm waiting my turn. I'm waiting for them to call me, and I'm not paying attention, so finally the desk clerk comes up to me and says, are you Muhammad? And I looked at him and I said, oh yeah, I guess I am. It was like the first time that that's how I found out that my request to change my name legally. And you don't have to change your name, but I knew that if I didn't do something drastic, then I would be, backsliding all the time, which, we backslide as human beings. So basically that's how I became a Muslim. Coming back to the United States was kind of hard because my family did not, they weren't thrilled with the idea. But I know I remember one time I had to wear a short skirt, the military skirt, for an inspection. And because I was Muslim, I didn't want to. what was interesting about it, I had gone through the masjid. Masjid 30 years ago was relatively new. They didn't want to cause a lot of, ruckus or noise. And I asked what to do, and they said, well, you're in the military, follow the commands. What was interesting about that is that the non-Muslims were kind of disappointed. Can you hear me? Because I'm not looking at my screen. If you can hear me, give me a one. It was the non-Muslims that came up to me and said, we supported you. We wanted you to not wear the skirt. We want you to wear the slacks, because we believe that you stood on this. So to this day, I feel saddened that I didn't do it that time. There are sisters in the military currently that, depending on their commanding officer, if they wear hijab or not. So things have changed. I don't agree with what they're doing, and I don't agree with what we do. I think we need to stick our nose back into our own business. We have a lot of craziness. Everything that we're saying, everything that the United States is saying that they defend in another country, they need to really stand up and defend in their own country and let other people handle their business. But I think it is forbidden for Muslims to be in the military. I understand, but I will say this at the same time. A lot of people become Muslim by being in the military. That's how they got their foot in the door. So sometimes where there's bad, good can come out of it, as well as sometimes where there's a mix of good, bad can come from it. So I thank Allah that I was in the military. And I thank Allah for that also because of my job that I have now, something that I do, and I do assist veterans of being in the military, and I do wear hijab, and I do get slacks, and I do get hardships. Sometimes people walk in my office and say, very horrible things. And it's good. I love it because they usually say it in front of another person, and, in front of, my client, what the heck are you doing wearing that? You're not supposed to wear that. You're in America, and what government did you serve in the military and stuff like that? And it's amazing how many people are wishy-washy. Even us as Muslims, I think, are wishy-washy. And, I'm the worst of the worst, so I'm not pointing my fingers at anybody else. But there's a lot of sympathizers. And a lot of times the non-Muslims who are sitting there at the desk, they say to the person who might be being disrespectful to me, they say stuff like, excuse me, but that is her right to dress like this because that is what America is supposed to stand up for. And it's, really good dawah anyway. I love giving dawah. No, you're not, sister. But some born a long time Muslims join the military. No, you're not, sister. I don't know what you mean. No, you're not. No, you are not, sister. Truth is the life died to he wills, went and where he wills. Yes, absolutely. I'll go ahead if nobody has any questions. Okay. Not wishy-washy in the deen, meaning and standing solid on the ground of la ilaha illallah muhammaddan rasulullah. But in other ways, I'm only human. And alrahman, if you'd like the mic, I'll go ahead and release it, and then if somebody has questions. Okay. Barakallah, and so, let me see. So, I married somebody from Vietnam. They, in Vietnam at that time, was, I think, 6% Muslim. And so, yes, the man that I married, and a very, very wonderful man, very good man, his family was Muslim, and I taught English as a second language to the family, and that's how we introduced to each other. I'm the kind of person that, why do I have to work for somebody else? Like my thought is now, I'm 50 in 10 years, I'll be 60. 10 years will give me, with the job that I'm doing, a little bit of stability, and inshallah I'll have my own business in 10 years. And I believe that Allah has given everybody some type of very good skills. So I think every human being has something really bad about them, but I think that they also have something really, really good. And so the brother was, my future husband was saying that he started working for a janitorial business. So I kind of said, well, I'm not understanding why you're doing that. Why don't you just open up your own business? So we went into business together, and I kind of saw that was going to be a conflict. How can, a woman work that close with a man? And so we married, and we have 3 beautiful children. Beautiful children. They're grown. They're Muslim. They obviously they have to take their own shahada, and in regards to deciding this is what I'm going to do. I often ask my children, what is it that you believe? Why are you a Muslim? Do you know what a Muslim believes? We have to ask those questions so they're not blind following and they don't fit into that category where Allah says, and they are those who they only believe because that's what their forefathers believe. I think that we as Muslims have to address that as well. And may Allah make them pious children. Ameen, ameen. And may Allah make all our offspring pious. Islam definitely is an inheritance. Definitely the best inheritance we can get. And what I don't understand, honestly, I don't get it when somebody cannot accept Islam. When they can't, what is so difficult about La ilaha illallah Muhammaddan Rasulullah? When I embraced Islam and the matter of La ilaha illallah, that was easy enough. Muhammaddan Rasulullah, that was easy to me. But that's a lot of times what's hard for people. My thing was about Islam. Islam addressed questions that nobody even asked, but people think about. It addressed questions like if there's a first prophet, wouldn't there be a last prophet? I really did not care what the prophet's name was. What hit me so strong was the fact that it addressed the fact that there was a first prophet and there's going to be a last prophet. Same thing about the Holy Quran. That there was, previous books and then there's going to be a last book, and it's going to be for all of humanity. And I remember when I was growing up, I asked somebody who I didn't follow the Bible, but people proclaim that they read from the Bible, that they had a boyfriend, and I said, how is it that you have a boyfriend? And you do that stuff before marriage. How is that? Isn't that in the Bible? You're not supposed to do that. And they told me, no, that's not what they're talking about. So it was kind of shady. I understood that. One thing, may Allah bless my parents and forgive them, because they never, ever, ever, ever polluted my thinking, my thought process, my brain with any lies about God. I don't even remember ever hearing my parents say the word God. And I told a Catholic that one time, and they were just beside themselves, and they couldn't understand how I thought that was a blessing. And to start and not be polluted in your thinking, that's a great thing. My writing looks too big. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Oh, I didn't mean for you to put your hand down, alrahman. Please, if you want to, take that. Anybody have any questions? Oh yes, my father. My father was staunch. I've always loved my dad. He was, dads are the girl's first love. And so I loved him so much, but he went to another family, and so we did not talk. And years later, he told me that the reason why he stopped talking to me was not because I became a Muslim, but because I married a man from Vietnam. And damn it, we went to war with those people. Anyway, I came after how many years? After like 14, 15, 16 years of not seeing my dad and talking with him. I came to visit him. This was after my second mom, who raised me, she died. And I came to visit him because I heard he was sick. And what's funny about that, I'll tell the whole story. After my mom died, me and my, I think she was 15 or 16-year-old daughter, we flew into an airport because he lives in a very rural area. And I called him to find out, directions on where to live, and he declined us. He wouldn't even tell us, and the reason being was because I had my nose pierced. Kind of funny. Anyway, so that was that year. I turned around, we drove to another family member's house and hundreds of miles away. But again, I kept trying, so finally he said, okay, you can come and visit me. And I did. And he has like a really, really, really bad hip, so he had to have a hip replacement. And the doctor ended up being an Egyptian Muslim man. Very nice brother, alhamdulillah. And so we kind of cornered my dad and talking to him about Islam and everything. And I told my dad, Daddy, what I'm doing, you'll see that you know my character, you know that I don't do certain things, I don't drink, I don't have boyfriends, I don't have all this and everything. You know that it's helped me in my life. So if you embrace Islam, if you bear witness that, Allah.muhamaddan, then I'll drop everything where I'm staying and living, and I'll come live with you and take care of you. And so he thought about it, and he told his doctor, Sharif, that, okay, I'm willing to embrace Islam. And my children, two of my children were there. My father really adores my son, Mustafa. And after he took Shahada, he turned around and looked at my son. He goes, not only now are you my grandson, but you're also my brother in Islam. And that to me was very, very touching. So that's how the story went. Brothers, and may Allah accept your salat, your prayers, and your supplications. Thank you for your story, sis. Alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for my story. The thing is, we ask Allah, to guide us to the truth. But Allah says in the Quran that He guides us to the truth. But the matter is, can you also give us the intelligence of embracing the truth when we hear it? Because truth clearly stands apart from falsehood. And when you see people like in Pal Talk, and you get in these rooms where we're debating about Islam or Christianity, to me it's just pure arrogance that people don't want to embrace it, because there's no way that I cannot believe that there's anybody that truly cannot understand that there's only one God, and one God worthy of worship. Okay, any questions? Why I decided to become a Marine and shoot radical Muslims? Well, you know what? You could get reported for that one. Because that's like what do they call it? Hate crime. That's a potential hate crime you could report to. But anybody have any questions? To say La ilaha illallah, it's kind of funny because yes, I do come in here, and when there's no activity, I always, every day that I come in here, while it may appear to be funny that I'm talking to myself, which is not unusual, but it kind of renews my shahada, why we became Muslims. It just renews my shahada like every day, and that's why I intentionally come in here, whether with the hijab on or not. I do come in here every day so that I can kind of refresh my shahada and my intentions of it. So we Muslims always talk to ourselves. I'm happy to know that somebody else thinks what I think. And that's another thing too about being a Muslim. All of a sudden, it's like, welcome to the human race. You're not as weird as you always thought you were. My father told me a couple of years ago, 5 years, 6 years ago, that when I was a child, him and my brother were talking, and that when I was a child, that they thought I was from a whole nother planet, and their little thing was that I marched to a different beat of the drum. And I was crushed, honest to goodness. I cried for 3 days. I hid myself, reclused myself into my room, and I just cried and cried, everybody thinks I'm crazy. Well, after 3 days I woke up and I said, wow, that is so freeing. Now those weird thoughts or those, crazy ideas that I have to make, it's not just about money, but going out there and writing this book and doing this and doing that. It's no longer, it's okay if other people think I'm crazy, so it was very, very freeing. And yes, I do have a tendency, speak for yourself, people. Okay. You talk to yourself. You do. It's okay though. We'll shade it. We'll cover it. We won't, expose it. If you want to say that you don't, it's quite all right. But Pandora. What is Pandora? I know Pandora's box, but no, that's when he's talking to the cat. Oh, yeah, yeah. He uses that. The guise of talking to himself. He uses the cat. He says, no, I was talking to the cat. It's kind of funny when my grandmother was alive, and I pray Allah accept the good that she did also, never knew if he, embraced Islam. I do know that when I first came home from Japan, and I was home on leave, I would give her like 7-hour khutbahs, man. I would just, for hours sit and talk to her about Islam. She never said shut up. She never said, acted like she wasn't paying attention. But she just basically listened. And one of the things that I remember of my grandmother so well is that, and these are my adopted family, is my parents, when they were together, I was always grounded. Go to your room. So I read a lot. That's why, I talk about stuff because I read a lot. And they would send me to bed without dinner because what they tell me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, or it's your mouth that gets you in trouble. And so I would, at one point in time when I'm getting so much better, that I would say exactly at that minute what I was thinking, and that could be really brutal, crushing. It could really, really hurt somebody. So I'm learning not to do it as being under the gun with my speech so quick. But anyway, I was sent to bed without dinner. I'm thinking I'm going to starve, Starving is what you see in the news, What we do is nothing. Anyway, I was, crying as a little girl, crying, and when they left or went to work or wherever they went, she came in and she woke me up and she gave me a glass of milk. And just, that touch of kindness has always stayed with me. So, inshallah, we will always, as Muslims, always have a moment that we can have kindness and share it, even with the non-Muslim, but more so with somebody who says, La ilaha illallah, Muhammaddan, because a kind word, honest to goodness, it could keep somebody on the deen, it could invite somebody to the deen. People will remember that, so just if you can. And in public, I won't recite out loud. Okay, LOL, I mean like a lot of people would think I'm mumbling or whispering myself. But yes, exactly. Also, another thing too that was funny. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jade, welcome. Brap. I know you're not supposed to say that, but they kind of taught me how to say that. You British people. I know. And I was in a room and they would always say, Love Beauty, can you say this? Because it would be funny. Old lady saying something silly. Okay, I did not. No, I didn't. Okay, I did. But anyway, so that's pretty much my story of why I become Muslim. I don't know what rap means. I don't know. I do, I guess. But may Allah forgive me. Just being in a room with Muslims is one of the best things for me, because I do live in a rural area and I don't see many Muslims. So we need to learn, and I think we are actually learning how to be kinder to each other. I know when I first came on Bad Talk, there was a lot of back and forth and being kind of mean to each other. And Allah says, and lowers the wing of humility to the believer, and the believer is only a true believer when you want for yourself when you love for yourself, when you love for your brother what you love for yourself. So the best actions are to cheer up your believing brother, to relieve him of a debt or to feed him, most definitely, and it definitely helps. I would die for my sisters, and I did put myself in danger when 3 sisters were attacked by 7 white boys. Alhamdulillah. But, the way I see it, and I'm very subject to error, but Allah gives us so many opportunities, so many opportunities to worship Him, so many opportunities to kind of clean our slate. And Allah does answer prayers. I have been kind of struggling on a financial basis, and everybody is, so I'm not saying it like wah, but I know I went into my prayers and I said, yeah, Allah, can you help me out financially? Because I really need help right now. And the other day, this is how amazing Allah is. The other day I found a box, and in the box was like $400. And so, just out of, Allah could do anything that He wants. So, we must never forget to pray to Allah for what we want, because what we want may not be the best, so we want Allah to not give us everything we ask for. Okay, they were calling them ninja, and that put me off. That happened to me the other day. I am amazed at the believer how Allah the Exalted does not will for him something except that it is best for him. Absolutely. Allah is most merciful. Hey, Brother Knight, how have you been? Why am I getting that? I don't get this. Alhamdulillah, I see it all is good. Why? Oh, I guess if you're an admin, you see all the whispers? Oh, oops, sorry, my bad. If there's anybody who did attend Juma and they would like to give the message of Juma, then that's too funny, Fire. I think you're right. I didn't get the joke. I'm a day late and $1 short usually. So if anybody attended Juma and they would like to express share with the Ummah the topic of the kippah, that would greatly appreciate it. And then see all whispers. Oh, maybe he's sending that to me. I get it. You're sending that to me to know that you're talking to yourself. I get it. Oh, well. Yeah. And, okay, another thing too, one time I came in the room and there was nobody talking. In this room, nobody was talking, so I decided to read the Quran in English, the translation, and I did that for like about 30 minutes. Did you walk in on that? Say la ilaha illallah. I know people come in and they do see my text and they're like, wow. Oh, 3 Stooges, yeah. That was Salam Alaikum and you. Yeah. But anyway, let me see. Any questions, comments, dialogue? Anything I say that's wrong is definitely from the wrong of myself, and anything good is from Allah. Abdullah online, would you like to take the mic and share about Juma? and I was in the room the other day too, and there was no name list. It was weird. There was nobody, I couldn't even see my name in the name list. It was all whited out. Really amazing. Okay, maybe nobody's in the room. Is anybody in the room? Oh, okay. Something's happening. Okay. Brother, please take the mic. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's always nice to be amongst Muslims. May Allah keep us on the straight path, and may we always show appreciation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.